And almost each and every interview will be asked this question.
Yeah.
At least in Google interview, I can say.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back. Hope all of you are safe and doing well. This is your friend and host Devang Sharma. I know काफी टाइम से वीडियो नहीं आई है and for the past 6 months I've really been busy. I didn't get the time to shoot videos for my channel. But अब से on my personal channel there will be regular videos. So videos about interview experiences, how to apply for off-campus job, how to crack the coding interviews, and how to nail the personal face-to-face interviews. All kind of videos from all across the globe with people who have inspired us will be coming on the channel. So make sure that you subscribe it and turn on the notifications. जब भी मेरी कोई नई वीडियो आएगी, you will be notified with it. That being said, I was just checking the dashboard and I see around 10,600 views. And as of now, there are 580 subscribers. So आप लोग वीडियोस तो देख रहे हो पर सब्सक्राइब नहीं कर रहे हो.
अच्छा बात नहीं है.
So please change the habit, hit the subscribe button, थोड़ा रहम खाओ subscribe button पे, and turn on the notifications. Today we have a very special guest. Let's start with the today's video. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Rohan Ghosh. He was of ex-Cisco, ex-Google, and he has recently joined Accenture UK as part of a consultant organization. So let's talk to him. Let's try to understand his experiences working in premium companies like Cisco Bangalore, Google Hyderabad, and now Accenture in UK. So without a further ado, let's start our session. Hi Rohan, glad to meet you. How are you doing here?
I'm doing great, Devang. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hope it's very good weather in the UK, as I can see in the background.
Yeah, it's really nice here.
Cool. So it's really great. And first of all, I want to thank you for giving your time and coming here on my channel and sharing your experience. I'm pretty much sure it's going to be really wonderful and inspiring to all others. Your journey has been tremendously inspiring, at least for me, and definitely a lot of other people will be inspired to follow. So great and thankful for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Sure. So let's start with a very basic intro first. Can you give a brief about your work experience and your introduction?
Yeah, so I'm Rohan. I have almost 5 years of experience in IT now. I started my career in Ericsson as a software developer, Java developer, you can say. And then from college days, I used to like the computer networking subject very much. So I decided if I can get a chance to get into a company like Cisco or Juniper. So I appeared in the Elitmus exam and I got a good score. And then later I saw that Cisco is hiring through Elitmus. So I directly applied and eventually got the call. And after the written test and the interviews, I finally came to know that I was selected. So initially I was hired as a contractor, but later got converted into full-time position. And while being on Cisco, I just randomly applied for Google. I never thought that I will get the call or I'll be able to crack the interview. But somehow it happened, and the Google interview went for almost 3 months. And so after 3 months, when I got the news, it was a great relief.
Yeah.
And then from Google to Accenture, you can say, so I was working in Google Bangalore as a technical solutions engineer, mostly for the networking products. And then I started looking for some consulting opportunities because I always wanted to try out what the Google partners are doing, because the Google partners are actually implementing the solutions. And when they face issues, they contact us and we resolve the issues. So in consulting also, you have lots of opportunity for travel and all. I've started applying for opportunities overseas India, and then got call from Accenture and Deloitte. And I cracked the Accenture interview and later rejected the Deloitte one because there were some delays and all. And yeah, finally I'm here.
That's really good to hear. And just a pointer for the guys, I get a lot of requests on my YouTube as well as on my LinkedIn that I am from a tier 3 college or tier 2 college where Cisco doesn't visit. So for you guys, you can take a pointer from here. Rohan applied via e-litmus test and he got the off-campus opportunity. So for those guys which are the product-based company do not fill it, this is a very, very good pointer. You can apply via e-litmus or other similar exams and you can get cracked into your dream companies. Thanks,
So
Rohan.
there are three exams: AMCAT, ELITMAS, and CoCubes. So
Okay.
if anybody is facing trouble getting campus placement, they can easily appear in these exams as many times as they want until they get a good score. And the only thing is, back in my time, I had to travel to Noida, Gurgaon, Bangalore for the interviews. But now it's easier for everyone because you can appear in the interview sitting at your home.
Yeah, that's really one advantage. I will put all the links that Rohan has mentioned in the description section. So anybody who wants to check out, you can check out in the description section. That being said, Rohan, I have moved to a new country, UK, a new aura. How's it been experience in the UK so far?
So it's been only 1 week I've been here in UK, and
Okay.
I'm in quarantine. But luckily, I got one of the best hotels here. Here, you get the hotels assigned automatically by the government, so
Okay.
you can't choose in which hotel you will stay.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm staying at Novotel right now, and they are providing a lot of freedom here. You can go out anytime. Just you can't cross the boundary of the hotel, but you can walk around outside and all. And the room is also very big. I mean, in other hotels, what I've seen in YouTube, they are not providing that big rooms.
Okay.
So far, it's great experience here, and it's far away from central London. It's just beside the Heathrow Airport. I can see the flights going up and down all the day. It's just beside Heathrow. So on 31st July, my quarantine will end, and probably I will then move to central London.
Sure, that's not far. Yeah, we're going to visit a lot of places. One
Yeah.
question from my and Rohan that you have mentioned. For our viewers that I want to clarify, like you mentioned the role of a technical solutions engineer at Google and a consultant at the role of Accenture. Can you briefly differentiate the roles of a software engineer, a technical solutions engineer, and a consultant?
Yeah. So software engineer are those who writes the code. Okay.
Yeah.
They have to be very proficient with the latest algorithms and data structures along with the frameworks. Okay. And they will actually develop the module of an application or service. And technical solutions engineer, this is basically a technical support role where our Google's partners and other customers, whenever they are facing any issues in deploying some application or building their infrastructure and they are stuck, they can't find any solution, then they contact Google and we help them out to resolve their issues. And so problem solving is the key part of technical solutions engineering, and software development is the main part of a software engineer. And consultants, so we have consultants in Google as well. So right now I'm working in Accenture as a consultant. So it's been just 2 days I have started my journey here. So these companies like Accenture, Deloitte, they work as a reseller or a middleman between Google Cloud and the end customers. Okay,
Okay.
suppose you are a bank and you want to move your workloads into the cloud. So Google won't be doing the entire job here. So Google is just providing the technology, that is Google Cloud. But who will be performing the entire task from designing to the migration planning is the partner companies, because they will be taking the end-to-end responsibilities of moving everything. When they are stuck, Google will come to help, but the 90% of the job will be done by the partner companies here.
Okay. Okay. So these consultants, they act as a bridge between the actual software
Yeah.
and the migration. Got it.
So the job of the consultant is like you can say it's end to end, like from planning the migration, building the architecture, moving the workloads, and even providing support as well.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds like a pretty challenging role. I'm sure it is very challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging, and you get to learn a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
So
focused on any particular module. You have to work on almost every part of the Google Cloud and on every technology.
that's really great to hear. And I'm pretty sure you'll be having a really good time enjoying that work.
Yeah.
So can you briefly walk us through your work experience at Cisco and Google? Like what are the kind of challenges you saw? What was the impact that you have done? And what are the learnings that made you a better professional over the period of time?
So in Cisco, I was working as a telepresence engineer. So if you search Cisco telepresence, you will be able to see lots of hardware like camera, speakers, big screens.
Yeah.
So telepresence provides immersive video calling experience, and big organizations like banks and all, they use these devices.
Yes.
It's not for normal retailers because these devices are very costly,
Yeah.
and it you will feel that I'm just talking sitting in front of you. It's so immersive. So I used to provide support for all the telepresence infrastructure and voice over IP
Okay.
at protocol level, you can say. So end-to-end troubleshooting for these devices and communications. And so it was kind of a networking role. I also did my CCNA in collaboration and CCNA in routing and switching when I was in Cisco. So I was having more interest in general networking than telepresence. So I was looking for some role where I'll be able to explore more generalist networking. So then I saw this technical solutions engineer role, which was more focused on networking, and it was generalist. It was not focused on particularly on telepresence or any other part. So
Correct.
I randomly applied, and I eventually got the call. So I prepared my CV in that way that it sounds more like I have worked on general networking, not on only telepresence, because
Okay.
I did the certification, so I had the knowledge.
Yeah.
Uh, then I got the call, and after I think they took almost 6 or 7 rounds of interview, and I got the chance.
So what kind of challenges and impact that you have done at Google that were differentiated from Cisco?
So in Google, I mean, everybody who gets hired to Google, I mean, the competition is very high.
Yeah.
You have to work really hard to get promoted, to get good hikes in Google. And back in Cisco, I mean, both are great companies. I had a great time in Cisco because I never had, probably I will never have the opportunity to get a campus like Cisco Bangalore. So I really enjoyed that time. So it was less of work, more of fun at Cisco. But at Google, it was serious for me. It was fun as well. So by work, I don't mean I have to work more than 8 hours. It's never more than 8 hours. So if you talk about challenges, I didn't have any challenges in Cisco or in Google as well, because the training is really good. So you have your mentors all the time. So whenever you face a little bit of issues, they come and rescue you. So there is no such challenge, but you have to put some extra hard work, and you have to be careful while working, because it's both of the roles were customer facing, and the company's reputation was I mean, it was dependent upon you. So those are the things that you need to be careful when you are working. So other than that, there is no challenges as long as you are continuing the learning.
Yeah. In addition to that, you have mentioned like for the company's reputation, along with that, the scale that you're dealing with, right? You have billions of end user customer and they are dependent upon it. So I know that kind of a feeling is really good, and you're providing on a customer facing role and the kind of impact that you have to deliver. So yeah, totally second you on that. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
for one example, suppose if one customer is asking you some question and you are not sure whether you know the answer or not,
yeah,
it's always better that you go to your mentor or senior and get it confirmed and then reply to the customer, because one wrong reply might put entire organization's reputation down.
yeah,
So it's okay to get help. I mean, all the time, no issues. So if you're not, so over the time, once you spend 6 7 months or 1 year, then yeah, we will become familiar with all the topics and subjects. You will become probably subject matter expert, and then the juniors will come to you for such doubts. But for initial 6 months, 1 year, it's completely okay to ask the seniors.
sure, sure. Thanks for explaining this one. Just one more question, like you have mentioned about the CCNA certification that you have done while you were at Cisco. So the audience that who are not from the networking background, can you give a brief about what is a CCNA certification? What do you learn from it? And what is the advantage you get once you complete that certification?
Okay, so CCNA certification is probably the best certification if you want to prove your knowledge, your basic knowledge about networking to any companies. Okay, so like in BTech, we have studied the computer network subject. Okay,
Yes.
that builds your base, but apart from that, that is not relevant to what industries actually use. So to get a taste of what industries actually, how industries use the networking and how they implement it, how everything is connected in the real world, you
Yeah.
have to do the CCNA. So you will get to know a lot about routers, switches, and wireless access points, voice over IP. So you will get good knowledge about all that. And CCNA is not CCNA is not a very easy exam, I would say. It's tough. You have to prepare a lot for to pass it. If you are willing to use dumps, then there, I mean, you won't get the benefit of CCNA. It's actually fun to crack CCNA if you do the actual study and crack the exam. And for this purpose, right now the syllabus of CCNA has changed a lot. But to build the basic knowledge about networking, you can type ciscoiseasy.blogspot.com, and you will get all the chapters and all the basics of networking written in very detail.
Yeah. Just for our viewers, I want to add one point here. It is provided by the DevNet certifications. And if you want to check out the link, I will put the link in the description. So you can check out the CCNA certification as well as DevNet Associate certification. So thanks, Rohan. Thanks for explaining this part. Let's come to Accenture UK, a new company, new place, everything is new. So can you walk us through like how was the interview experience? How did you apply? How did you reach out to the recruiter or recruiter reached out to you? What were the interview rounds and their brief overview? Which preparation material you went for and some resources and your personal experience?
Yeah. So I applied to Accenture directly, just
Okay.
like I applied to Deloitte directly from LinkedIn. So for job search, I always use LinkedIn, and from there you might get redirected to the Accenture career site, but it's okay. So I applied in the morning, and by evening I got the call on that day itself. So it's just you have to match the resume with the job description, and the keywords should be there properly. In
Yeah.
that case, I mean, there is 99% of the chance that you will get a call. Okay. And once I got the call, I thought it to give it a shot, and but it was a tough decision for me because I was already working in Google, and I was thinking whether to appear in this interview or not, and what will happen if eventually I crack the interview. But so they took 3 rounds. First one was HR round. It was more of like what are my expectations and all, and on what role I'm working currently, whether it's relevant to what I'll be working in Accenture or not. So the first round was really easy. You just have to read the JD thoroughly, and you have to map your experience with the JD and explain it to the interviewer. Okay. So the second round was purely technical. So whatever was written in the job description, you have to study each and every topic in depth. So it's not like you can study at a very high level and crack the interview. Each and everything has to be studied in a very in-depth manner. So for that, you can use YouTube or the public documentations, or even the Udemy courses. I always prefer Udemy courses because I organize everything there in a perfect way. So, and the third round was case interview. So whenever you are applying for a consulting position in UK, you have to go through one case interview. And so in YouTube, if you search about case study interviews or case interviews, you will get thousands of videos. So all the videos are from McKinsey, Bain, or Boston Consulting Group,
Yeah.
or even from Accenture and Deloitte also, you will get some videos. And there are lots of documentation available as well to crack case interviews. So yeah, the case interview was a little bit tough, but the technical round was easy for me because I studied and prepared thoroughly whatever was written in the JD, and nothing came outside of it. And then the case study round, it was very new to me because I have never appeared in any such rounds. So I watched almost 20 to 30 videos in YouTube for case interviews, and also there are individual documents for case interview. If you search Accenture case interview, you will get one documentation for Accenture only. So there they have explained how the questions might be in the actual interview. So I have prepared that as well. And there are also tricks. Well, I mean, suppose you got stuck during the interview, how to get out of that situation. So there is those tricks as well. You can search in YouTube and you have the solution. So for end-to-end preparation, I would say that YouTube alone is more than enough. But if you have time, go for Udemy or the public documentations as well.
Sure. That's very helpful. Just one follow-up question for the case study round. So as we see on the YouTube, like case study rounds, they are mostly related to the business management side, right?
Yeah.
For example, 3, 4 sections, which goes for 1 hour, and then we have some numerical questions, charts, graphs, and some questions for a customer perspective, right? Like thinking out of the box and getting a solution for it, guessing and as well, right? So how
Yeah.
for a technical role, the case study was different?
So it was a mixture of both business and technical.
Okay.
Like I can't discuss much about that the topic, but it was related to cloud migration.
Okay.
So I mean, why you will help a business to move into cloud, and why should they hire you so that you can move their business into the cloud? You
Okay.
have to convince the customer, you have to convince your client, and
Okay.
that was the gist of it. And it's not that tough. I mean, why if you search in Google why a company should move into cloud, you will
Yeah.
get plenty of
A
reasons.
lot of
So you
articles.
just have to map those situations uh, with the framework that you have been given during the interview.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty helpful. Just coming to the next question about, in this coming generation, I see a lot of people who move into full stack development, they move into Android, they move into machine learning. In addition to that, there is a new buzzword that's going on around the market. That buzzword is cloud technology, right? And you yourself, you are so much experienced in the cloud technology. So I'm just curious to know, like, when you were first introduced to it, and what made you happen that this is the technology I want to explore my career into, or there is something here that I like and I'm going to more make my career into it. How did that happen in the game?
So when I first heard about cloud, when I applied to Google, I didn't have much idea about public clouds and how it's used and how organizations use it. So later, when I studied in detail, I understood one thing, that cloud is going to be the future, because in future companies will get rid out of their own data centers, and they will prefer that companies like AWS, Google, or Microsoft manage their data and everything, because there is huge operational cost associated with maintaining your own data center. So if you get rid out of it, plus along with that, you are getting scalability, availability, and reduced latency, and the pay-as-you-go model. Okay,
Okay.
so it's like you are getting so many benefits by just moving your workload to the cloud. So in future, almost everything is going to be in the public clouds.
Okay.
Apart from you can say that almost 10% workloads will be still in the data centers, and those data which are very confidential or very sensitive, probably they will still stay within
On
an
premises.
organization's on-premises data center, but all the other workloads, they will be in the cloud. But cloud is as secure as on-prem data center, that I can tell you. But still, due to some policies, not all the organizations try to move their data there.
Yeah. That's really good. Let's bring on to my next question. Like, what do you think? What is the advantage of, although you have partially answered the question, but let's go dig deeper into it. What is the advantage of moving a solution from an on-prem particular solution to a cloud solution in terms of latency or other benefits that you get, availability and latency and scalability?
So first, actually, there are two costs involved for any services or application. One is the capex, and another is the opex. Okay, capital expenditure and the operational expenditure. So by moving your applications and everything to the cloud, you are getting rid of the future capital expenditures. Like, you don't have to purchase the hardwares and all.
Yeah.
It's everything is managed by the public cloud providers. And plus the operational expenditure, like running all the hardwares, maintaining them, and all the software upgrades and replacements, those operational expenditures, that is going to get reduced by a significant percentage, because all the clouds offer some discounts. I mean, the more you use the clouds, the more discount you will get. So these are the primary advantages. So you can literally launch any service after developing within 2-3 days in the cloud. You don't have to build your server or anything. Just imagine how helpful this is for the big organizations, but they are dealing with thousands of applications.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And you have mentioned in your statement like cloud is the future. So can you tell a brief intro like what is the current sentiment of the market about the cloud solution and what do you think is going to be the future of the cloud?
So currently, almost 81% of all the organizations they are running at least one application or service in public clouds.
Okay.
So only 19% are left, but still, I mean, the speed in which the public clouds are moving, you can expect that within probably 5 years, each and every organization will be having something running in the cloud, and down the line, 15 years, 20 years, probably everything will be in the cloud. Because if you don't choose to move into cloud, you will fall behind with your competitors. Your competitors will be earning more profit, and the net income will be far more than what you will be earning.
Yeah. And
Because you'll be having expenses about those capital expenditure, operational expenditure of having your own on-premise systems.
yeah, sure. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for explaining in this order. My next question is regarding the same. Like cloud is so important. You have given so really good example and advantages of it. How will you recommend to learn cloud from scratch to somebody who has absolutely no idea about what is the cloud, not even private or public cloud? He or she has no idea about cloud. How or what resources will you recommend them?
So before learning cloud, you get to have very good knowledge about the basic computer science fundamentals. Okay, it might be data structure algorithms, it might be database management system, computer networks, or programming. So once you have that, then only you can try to come into cloud. Like I will recommend a simple path. First, you do well with your system design knowledge. Okay, there are lots of free system design courses available,
Yes.
and even a second year student or third year student will also be able to understand what's happening with the systems and all. So the system design mindset should be built from, I would say, from third year onwards, and they have to be very good with Linux. So to get good with Linux, you can buy any courses from Udemy, study it, and you can appear in any of the certification exams like Red Hat Certified Linux Administrator. There are lots of foundation level certifications. So once you are done with Linux, now next move to networking. Okay, in networking, once you are done with your BTech part, you do CCNA. CCNA won't take more than 3 months of time if you study thoroughly. Okay. So once you complete CCNA, you are done with two things. One is the system part, and another is the networking part. Now comes the database part. So for database, the BTech level knowledge is sufficient, I would say. And plus, if you study some more queries or joins and all from Google, that would be great. But the BTech level knowledge is sufficient. And so we are done with database, computer networking, Linux. Now we are left with some web technologies. Okay, you have to be very proficient with the protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, and you have to be proficient with the technology like CDN and load balancing. These are very basic. These are the basic components of any service that is running right now. And in on-prem also they exist, and in cloud also they exist. So how for a very basic example, what's happening when you are typing google.com in your browser? Once you get to know the end-to-end flow, you will get to know what to study and what to not. Like in each hop, what's happening. Okay, like if I'm typing google.com, first it's getting resolved through DNS.
Yes.
Then it's hitting one of the load balancer. Then after the load balancer, from load balancer, some CDN is providing the content. So we are not getting the actual content from the actual servers. There is some content delivery network like Akamai who is providing the data first to us. And if it's not in their cache, then we are hitting the actual server. And that too after load balancing is happening. So this is the complete path how it's happening. And almost each and every interview will be asked this question. At least in Google interview, I can say.
Yeah.
And so web technology, computer networking, Linux, and DVMS.
Okay.
These things are perfect for building a good base before jumping into cloud. Once you know all these things, cloud will become very easy. I mean, it will be a cakewalk for you.
Sure, sure. Thanks for again for such a detailed explanation. I'm pretty sure anybody who is watching this video or watches this video in future, they will have the crystal clear knowledge where to go for. I see a lot of time people come to me and approach me like we don't know where to start from. So this is the perfect roadmap that Rohan has explained. You can watch it, you can pause the video, make the recordings, and just note down whatever he has said. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really useful.
So
So
once you have all the basic knowledge about these computer science fundamentals and the system knowledge, networking knowledge, database and all, then you can choose your favorite cloud. It might be Google Cloud, it can be Microsoft Azure, it can be Amazon Web Services, or it can be OCI as well, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or IBM Cloud. And then you can start preparing for the basic certification then.
yeah, sounds good. So that's pretty much about the discussions, Rohan. Now it's a kind of an informal rapid fire round. Hope if you're fine with it and if you're ready for it, we can start.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, sure. So coming into the UK, what is the dish that you have liked the most?
So it's till now it's Hyderabadi chicken biryani.
Okay, the
So
Indian dish.
I don't have much option here. I mean, I have to eat whatever they are providing, but till now, that is the tastiest dish I have tasted here.
Okay. What is your favorite hobby or part-time activity?
Uh, so it's just like surfing the internet, watching YouTube, watching movies and all. And we are traveling, you can say. So, I mean, that's one of the reason why I'm here, because in my kind of job, I have to travel a lot across UK and Europe.
Okay, that's really good to hear. That brings me on to my next question. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Wow, great. Who is your role model?
Role model, you can say it's Ravindra Babu Ravula. Do you know him?
I'm not very sure. Sorry.
Yeah, so my career took, I mean, almost 180-degree turn when I got introduced to Ravindra Babu Ravula. So he's all, you can say, India's #1 GATE coach for computer science. He's ISC pass out and former Cisco engineer. You can search in the YouTube. Currently, he teaches on Unacademy, but back in my time, he used to have his own course. So I was not very good with computer science fundamentals and all. And in college, whatever was being taught that time, I was not able to understand in a, I mean, good extent that time. So I watched a few videos of Ravindra Babu Ravula about compiler designing. So that was one of the most difficult subject that I have ever faced.
Yeah.
So after watching a few videos, at that moment I knew that if I have to build a strong computer science base, I have to take the course from this guy. And it doesn't matter whether I am able to crack the gate or not, but I will be having a very strong base. So yeah, I couldn't crack it, but I really had a great computer science fundamentals base because of his teachings.
I will definitely recommend his courses in my description section as well. So those who are willing to appearing for GATE or even for a very strong foundation, as Rohan mentioned,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this will be useful.
So I mean, for entire life, his teachings will, I mean, the course that you will buy from him, or even if you watch the free YouTube videos that he's providing in his own channel and or in an academy, those will be always useful as long as you are in technology field.
Sure, sure. That's really good. Last question, and we'll wrap up this round is what is your favorite movie or web series?
So my favorite movie is Pursuit to Happiness.
Yeah, really great.
And I have another favorite movie, that's Forrest Gump.
Okay.
And my favorite web series is very difficult to tell because uh, the last web series that I was watching was Money Heist, and I really liked it. But till now, if I tell you about one web series that had a great impact on my mind, that is Game of Thrones, obviously. Like, I mean, almost I didn't go to office. I took sick leave to watch that season 8.
Guys, I will not recommend doing this. This is the personal opinion of Rohan. I have no way promoting this here. But yeah, I know people who are really, really crazy behind Game of Thrones and all. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's pretty much Rohan from my side, and really, really grateful and thanks for giving your time. Hope you are having a really good time at UK. And all
Yeah.
the points that you have shown in that we had talked about, it's really, really useful. I will be
Yeah, I
using
will share some links. You can put
it.
that in the description of the video. Those will be really helpful
Sure,
for
sure.
the college students and all the individuals.
And once again, thanks for joining in and giving so much of good time. Hope you are enjoying.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you, Devang. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Rohan.